This year, the youth group fundraised, with your help, to go back to the Sierra Service Project. Sierra Service Project, or SSP, is a nonprofit based in California that organizes service projects on Native American reservations for people who can't afford to make needed repairs or improvements to their houses. The last time we went to the camp in Spokane, Washington, it was a life-changing experience. We met friends that me and Dylan are so close with to this day that we FaceTimed the night before we planned this talk out. That week and all the relationships it made helped me to find myself and made a huge difference in who I am today. So when we heard that we would be going again in the summer of 2019, this time to the camp in Chiloquin, Oregon, we were really excited, and it didn't disappoint.
The theme for this SSP was a place at the table. So every day during lunch, we had this thing called a spiritual sandwich. The spiritual sandwich was the spiritual guru, or one of the jobs we had assigned for every kid, was to ask multiple questions about the theme of the day. The themes of the day were invited to the table, setting the table, pull up a chair, ingredients to the recipe, dig in, what will you bring home, and wrapping up. Each day, those questions brought us closer to each other. And one of the memories that I still have to this day is one of my group members had a friend that took her own life when he was in 8th grade, and it was his best friend. And throughout, it was very bold of him to share that with us on the first day that we met. And throughout our trip, on one of the nights, we went to a cliff and we watched the sunset. He had kind of a vision of her, and he had a breakdown, but our group kind of all came together. We had a big group hug, and it was just something that really brought us close together, and it felt something that just I wouldn't get anywhere else, and it was very special. Another one of my favorite moments was during our free time after we worked all day. Was we were able to play card games, and one of the card games we played was Spoons, and we played with 20 people, and it was really fun because I felt like no one was left out of the group and everyone had a place at the table.
For me, SSP was a great chance for me to get out of my comfort zone and try new things. The daily schedule at SSP was we would wake up, eat breakfast, then we'd go work at our site, and then we'd have free time, then we'd have the chance to take showers, then we'd have dinner, and then we'd go to sleep. On the first day, the different churches got split up into 8 groups, with 2 chaperones and 6 kids in each. Each group had its own work site, and the next morning, after teaching the kids how to use the machinery, your group is shown to its work site. My group was working on taking apart and rebuilding a fence. Most groups were either finishing, starting, or continuing a project. My group was starting and finishing one. One of the things that really brought our group together was music, because one of our chaperones took a small bus to get here with his church, so we used that to get to our work site every day. And on the ride there, we would blast music and sing and dance all the way to our work site. Another thing we had were opportunities to serve, and those were things that each group had to do, and they changed throughout each day. Some groups had things like grounds, where we cleaned up the gym that we slept in, and other groups had things like buckets, where you helped wash dishes, or you had KP, which was kitchen prep, and you helped make meals. One of my favorite things was going on our spirit walk Friday night and playing a game where we taped a paper plate to our back and walked around writing things on other people's plates that we liked about them. All of that week was so much fun, and I'm really grateful for all of you who helped make this possible, and to Josh and Jay who agreed to help chaperone.
Going down there, I was kind of worried because I was going to go work with a lot of people that I didn't know at all, and I'm kind of a shy person. But once I got to know everyone, I felt really invited. Everyone had a role in the work groups, and people made sure everyone was putting in equal work effort. That was nice. In my work group, there was an international student named Michael who used the power drill a lot, and he was really good at it, for example. And another student, or another person named Aiden was real good at using the saw. Just things like that. Everyone was included nicely.
This year, more than before at the other SSP, and more than really ever, I felt connected in some way to every single person. At the last SSP, we spent most of our free time with the same 3 or 4 people, and we got along casually with everyone else. But this felt different. SSPs never had the cliques that the real world is full of. They're soccer kids and they're theater kids and nerds or whatever, but we don't see each other as the jocks and the nerds that we maybe see each other as in the real world. We don't run around in circles. Everybody sees each other and everybody gets to spend time with each other. There's not as much we see that divides us. And so as a result, we get to know people we might have never run into otherwise. In our free time, we played cards, basketball, and whatever games we could make up. But people didn't feel trapped in one group. Normally, I probably would have played basketball the whole time because it's something I like to do at home and something a lot of my friends like to do. But SSP was different. I think I played cards with every single kid at the camp. And I felt like I was free to try new things with any group of people. I'd never gotten close with a lot of people from this youth group that well, but I felt like I'd never seen Calvin open up so much in my entire life. And I'd never seen, he's not here today, but Finn, I'd never seen him open up so much in my entire life. And there was just an environment where everybody felt free to be themselves. And because of that, we all got to know not only ourselves better, but every single person better, and got to grow a lot. As a result, I made permanent memories and lasting relationships with nearly 100 random people that I didn't know at the beginning. Walking into a camp 403 miles away, I had never felt more at home. The last few months, I've found that God is most present in the relationships we make with other people. When we lay down our guards and connect to each other as who we really are, we find God. Love is the idea that Christ lived for and that he died for on the cross. And this week, from 100 random kids, from youth groups spreading from Washington to California, God brought love. He reminded us what it meant to be his children. And it was a week that I will never forget.
Great job.
My name is Jay Hember. I was one of the chaperones. This was just a fantastic experience. It really was. To see the kids in that environment and to see them doing something bigger than themselves was amazing. So thank you all for the opportunity to do this. It was great. I don't want to speak for Josh, but this was a little out of my comfort zone too, but it was well worth it and it meant a lot. So thank you.
Yeah, my name's Josh Smith. I was with one of the other chaperones. It was an amazing experience. It was a lot of fun. I'd just like to encourage any of you who would like to do this. It doesn't have to be parents. Certainly, it was a lot of fun for us. But the reality is that our children would rather we didn't go. So it's not a very super challenging experience. I mean, you're doing some light construction projects. It's ramp building. It's fence painting, fence building. You do have to sleep in a gym with a lot of other people, but that's kind of a fun experience too. And it's really neat to see the youth connect and be off their phones. And you're helping serve a community that often is not able to the projects you're building are things that they either can't afford or don't know how to do themselves. And so it's kind of fun. And some construction things that I sort of handy, but it was fun to get to try to do some projects that I have not done before. So we'd love it if some other people would be open to taking the youth next summer, because they definitely want to go again. And it was definitely an experience that was a really good experience for everyone. So thank you so much.
And the people of God said, "Are we not a blessed church?"